Have you ever felt a wave of anger so intense you couldn't hold it back? Maybe someone said something hurtful, or just gave you a look that made it feel like the world was turning against you. In today's fast-moving, high-pressure world, it doesn't take much to trigger a storm of emotion, from petty irritation to full-blown rage. But is it possible to stay calm, to protect your peace no matter what others say or do? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism says yes, rooted in the wisdom of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, men who endured war, exile, and loss. It offers timeless tools for emotional strength. What we're about to explore isn't abstract theory. These are practical lessons you can apply right now to regain control, not just over your reactions, but over your life. So let's begin. Lesson 1. Embrace willingness. The heart of Stoicism lies one powerful idea: accept what comes. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy every moment, but it does mean facing each moment willingly, without resistance. As Marcus Aurelius put it, accept what fate brings, and love those it brings with all your heart. Why does this matter? Because resistance fuels frustration. Picture this: you're washing dishes. If you grumble through it, each plate feels like a burden. But if you accept the task, maybe even find gratitude in it, it becomes lighter. Epictetus said it best: don't wish for events to happen your way. Wish for them to happen as they do, and all will be well. Even in something as annoying as traffic, the principle holds. You can rage at the delay, or use the time to listen to music, reflect, or breathe. One choice drains you. The other empowers you. This mindset deepens when we ask ourselves, what kind of life do I want to live? Instead of chasing fleeting goals like money or recognition, Stoicism encourages a larger vision. When your actions serve that vision, even hardship becomes meaningful. Volunteering, for example, feels lighter than obligation, even if both require effort. Why? Because one is chosen, the other is forced. That shift, "I choose to do this instead" of "I have to," can turn a task into a triumph. And what about when someone insults you? You can react with anger, or you can pause and think, they're acting from their nature. I'll respond from mine. Acceptance here doesn't mean weakness. It means clarity, knowing what you can control and letting go of the rest. Criticism? Use it to grow. Mistakes? Accept and learn from them. Challenges? Face them as opportunities. Every small step builds resilience. Over time, willingness becomes your armor, and once you've grounded yourself in this mindset, you're ready for the next step in emotional mastery. Coming up in Lesson 2. What if the real cause of your irritation isn't what others do, but how often you judge them? In the last lesson, we discovered the quiet strength of embracing life willingly, of choosing not to resist what unfolds, but to meet it with presence and grace. Now we turn to something just as powerful: the habit of judgment, and how letting it go can set you free. Lesson 2. Let go of judgment. Have you ever found yourself getting irritated by someone driving slowly in front of you? Maybe your mind immediately labels them. They're so stupid. But what if they're a new driver? Or maybe they have a sleeping baby in the back seat and are just being careful. See, the problem isn't the event itself. It's the story we attach to it. Judging others weighs us down. It's not just a fleeting thought. It's often the root of our anger. Take, for example, a coworker who's always late. If your assumption is they're lazy or unprofessional, your irritation will grow with each passing day. But if you imagine they're caring for an ill family member, or facing silent struggles at home, your frustration begins to dissolve. That doesn't mean their behavior is suddenly acceptable, but by removing the harsh judgment, you protect your peace of mind. You can still see the situation clearly without letting it poison your heart. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you always have the option of having no opinion. In other words, you don't need to get emotionally entangled in everything that happens around you. No one is entirely good or entirely bad. People are shaped by their experiences, their struggles, their stress. Think about a time you weren't at your best, snapping at someone, acting impatient, or making a poor decision. Were you a bad person, or were you simply overwhelmed, tired, or going through something unseen? It's the same for others. Picture yourself at a restaurant. A server accidentally spills water all over your table. Instinct might spark irritation. They're careless. But if you pause and consider, maybe they're working a double shift or dealing with personal issues, the anger starts to fade. Just that shift in perception can make a world of difference. Letting go of judgment isn't about ignoring mistakes or excusing bad behavior. It's about refusing to let those moments rob you of your calm. As Marcus Aurelius also said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who did the injury. In other words, don't let others drag you down to their level. Rise above. So how do we practice non-judgment in everyday life? Start with awareness. Each time a critical thought about someone pops up, ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it necessary? Then try to reframe the situation. What might they be going through that I don't see? This small act of empathy can melt frustration in an instant. And remember, just because someone is different from you doesn't make them wrong. Life is richer because of our differences. Judging every contrast is not only exhausting, it's unnecessary. Choosing to let go of judgment is choosing to travel lighter, less emotional baggage, more compassion. And when someone irritates you next time, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this really worth my peace? You'll find that when you soften your gaze toward others, you also soften the pressure on yourself, and that brings us to the next essential lesson. Because once you stop judging others, a deeper truth begins to emerge. Where does so much of our anger really come from? Often it's from the desire to control everything. In our last reflection, we explored how giving up the illusion of control can free us from frustration. When we accept that we can't steer the river of life, only guide our own boat, we begin to discover peace. But there's more. Letting go also means learning to expect adversity and making peace with the imperfect. Lesson 3. Let go of control. Imagine rowing a small boat down a river. You can't stop the current. You can't command the wind, but you can steer. That's what Stoicism teaches us, to navigate, not dominate. One powerful practice from Stoic tradition is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Before your day begins, pause for a moment. Ask, what could go wrong today? Maybe a meeting gets canceled. Maybe someone forgets an important task. Maybe the rain ruins your outdoor plans. By anticipating setbacks, you're not inviting them. You're preparing for them. And when they arrive, you're steadier, less shaken. This practice doesn't make you pessimistic. It makes you emotionally ready. Letting go of what's beyond your grasp isn't weakness. It's liberation. Start small. Don't cling to what others think. Don't obsess over the past. Don't hold on to outcomes you can't control. Life, like a river, flows regardless. And when you learn to move with the current rather than against it, you begin to find the peace that was always there, waiting. Lesson 4. Embrace imperfection. Now, let's be honest. No matter how calm we try to be, we've all had moments of frustration, especially when people let us down. But pause and ask yourself, why do I expect perfection from the world? This expectation is, in itself, the root of so much disappointment. Stoicism reminds us, perfection is an illusion. The world is not built to match our expectations. It never has been. And the sooner we accept that, the lighter we feel. Think back. Have you ever been let down by a friend, a colleague, or even a family member? Maybe they forgot something important. Maybe they said something hurtful. Our natural response is to feel upset. But is it realistic to expect others to get it right every time? Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." A flawed world doesn't need to be corrected to bring us peace. We need to adjust our perspective. Let's take an example. You've worked hard on a presentation, but your teammate makes an error that throws things off. The first reaction? They ruined everything. But what does anger do? It doesn't undo the mistake, it only amplifies your stress. Instead, shift your question to, what can I do now? Acceptance leads to clarity. Clarity leads to solutions. Marcus Aurelius prepared himself daily for imperfection. He would say, "Today I shall meet with ingratitude, disloyalty, arrogance," not out of bitterness, but as a way to remain unshaken when it inevitably came. This mindset isn't defeatist, it's realistic. In everyday life, this can be your superpower. When someone breaks a promise, remind yourself, they're human. When you feel hurt by a comment, ask, was that really about me? Or did they simply not understand? Accepting flaws in others doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. It means choosing not to be ruled by disappointment. The Stoic way is to improve what you can and release the rest. Take relationships, for instance. Many of us expect our partners to just know how we feel. But even those closest to us aren't mind readers. Instead of resenting what's unspoken, ask, have I communicated clearly? That shift toward compassion and clarity can heal misunderstandings before they turn into wounds. When you truly begin to see imperfection as part of life's design, something beautiful happens. That careless coworker becomes a lesson in patience. That rude stranger, a moment to practice inner. Lesson 5. Take responsibility for your emotions. Let's imagine a common scene. You're standing in line at the supermarket. It's crowded, noisy, and everyone's tense. Suddenly someone cuts in front of you without a word. Your pulse spikes. Irritation flashes in your chest. The reflex. Maybe glare at them, mutter something, or carry that resentment for the rest of the day. But what if you didn't? What if, in that moment, you asked yourself, is this person's action really worth sacrificing my peace? They may be wrong, but your reaction is yours. Why let them rent space in your mind? When you choose calmness, something almost magical happens. The irritation fades. The person who wronged you might not even notice, but more importantly, they no longer have power over your mood. That moment becomes what it truly is, a small blip in your day, not the start of a downward spiral. In daily life, we often hand over control of our emotions without realizing it. Someone criticizes us, our mood crashes. Someone ignores us, we feel hurt. But pause and ask yourself, why give that much power to someone else's behavior? Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't stop people from being rude or thoughtless, but you can stop those moments from shaping your state of mind. Think of a time when someone unfairly criticized you at work. You probably felt defensive, angry. But what if you reminded yourself, my worth isn't based on their opinion? That's where freedom begins. So how do we build that emotional strength? First, practice the power of pause. The next time something upsets you, ask, am I overreacting? Is this really worth losing my peace over? That tiny pause creates space, a moment of awareness where you can choose calm over chaos. Another powerful Stoic practice is journaling. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what upset me today? How did I respond? Could I have responded better? This habit helps you spot patterns and build the discipline to respond, not react. Remember, no one can truly make you angry or frustrated unless you allow it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Your emotions are yours. Guard them. Protect your peace. When you do, you'll begin to notice how little truly disturbs your spirit. So, does this way of thinking resonate with you? If so, share your reflections below. What moments challenged your peace today? What helped you hold on to it? And if you see things differently, let us know. Your perspective might inspire someone else. Now let's keep walking this path of calm and clarity. Because while owning your emotions is powerful, there's an even deeper mastery that awaits. What If you could face criticism, rudeness, or unfairness, and not react at all, in the next lesson, we'll explore the rare and freeing art of non-reaction. Earlier, we explored the art of non-reaction, how choosing silence over retaliation is a sign of deep strength, not weakness. Now we turn inward once more, because when the noise of judgment fades and the fire of anger cools, something extraordinary begins to take shape in its place. Compassion. Lesson 6. Practice non-reaction. There's a parable that goes, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, you become the donkey. It's simple, even humorous, but it holds profound truth. When we react to negativity with more negativity, we drop to the very level we're trying to rise above. Silence, in moments of provocation, isn't submission. Strength, it's choosing peace over pride. Picture a heated argument, each word thrown like fuel on a fire. But then, one person simply stops. The fire dies. The power shifts. The one who chooses stillness walks away with their dignity and inner peace intact. Pause and ask yourself, when was the last time I lost my temper over something minor? Was it really worth the turmoil I carried afterward? Reflecting like this helps us become more aware of how we react and how often we allow small moments to rob us of our calm. Marcus Aurelius reminds us again, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you can revoke at any moment. Non-reaction isn't passivity. It's discernment. It's the wisdom to know when something deserves your energy, and when it doesn't. Next time you're criticized in public, your instinct might be to defend yourself immediately. But what if you paused instead? What if, rather than reacting, you simply responded with clarity and calm? Thank you. I'll address your concerns after sharing my thoughts. Just like that, you flip the dynamic. You hold the reins. Seneca said it beautifully. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Pause before responding. Let the emotion pass through you before it takes hold. If a colleague sends a harsh message, don't reply in the heat of it. Wait, breathe. Return when your mind is clear and your heart is steady. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response of all. Because when you don't react, you don't give away your peace. You protect it. Lesson 7. Find joy in selflessness. As we learn to pause, to observe rather than react, something softens within us. The weight of judgment and resentment lifts. And in that open space, something beautiful enters. Love, empathy, generosity. This is the quiet joy of selflessness. When your mind is no longer clouded by irritation, you begin to see the world differently. Even people who once angered you now appear in a gentler light. You begin to understand that often forgiveness isn't about others. It's about freeing yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Each day is an invitation to be better than we were the day before, to love deeper, to give without expecting, to forgive with a full heart. I recall a friend who worked in a high-stress environment. He was often unfairly criticized, but instead of reacting with anger, he began asking himself, what might they be going through? One day, he learned that a particularly sharp colleague was facing serious financial troubles. That awareness changed everything. He stopped reacting, started listening, and even extended a helping hand. The result? Their relationship healed, and the entire workplace grew lighter. In families too, forgiveness transforms everything. Think of a relative who constantly finds fault in you. It hurts, but often their criticism speaks more of their pain than your shortcomings. Recognizing that allows you to step back, breathe, and release the anger. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying what they did was okay. It means saying, you won't control how I feel about myself or my life. Why does anger arise so often? Because we expect others to behave how we would. But the world isn't built around our expectations, and when we let go of them, we also let go of the disappointment. Think about this. When was the last time you helped someone expecting nothing in return? How did it feel? Likely, light, uplifting. Real Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Forgiveness is a form of self-mastery. It liberates the heart in a way that no external success can. Even modern science agrees. People who practice kindness regularly report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. Stoicism taught this centuries ago. Forgiveness isn't just a moral virtue. It's a gateway to a life of meaning. The next time someone frustrates you, ask, what pain might they be carrying? You may not excuse their behavior, but you'll begin to understand it. And in understanding, peace arises. Sometimes selflessness is simply letting someone else be imperfect. Sometimes it's being patient with clumsiness. Sometimes it's offering kindness not because they deserve it, but because you choose it. Seneca captured it perfectly. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. You won't always be able to fix the world, but you can choose to forgive, to give, and to love. In doing so, you don't just bring light to others, you bring healing to yourself. Forgiveness isn't just an action, it's a way of living freely. And now, we've walked through 7 timeless Stoic principles, tools not only for surviving in a chaotic world, but for thriving in it. Acceptance, non-judgment, letting go, embracing flaws, emotional responsibility, calm in the storm, joy through giving. These aren't abstract ideas. They are compass points for a more peaceful, powerful, and fulfilling life. If this message spoke to your heart, consider giving this video a like and share it with someone who might need it today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. We've got more uplifting, soul-centered content coming your way. Thank you for being here. Until next time, keep your peace close, your heart open, and your mind clear.